Here is a simple requested illustration on how to achieve this dress. So to start, I'm going to draft the upper part, which is the shoulder to bust and the shoulder to under bust plus the waistline. I'll be doing this in a miniature form. I'll start by marking the shoulder divided by 2, come down by 1 inch and connect it to the neckline. I'll find the chest line, which is the bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches, and draw a straight line there. After marking this, I'll place back my tape. Whatever I have at the shoulder, I'll mark. Now I'll place my ruler, connect this all the way up. I'm going to divide the armhole into 2 equal parts by folding my tape and mark. I'll come out by ½ inch here, mark my bust circumference divided by 4, connect from here to the midpoint, also connect from the chest line to the midpoint of this pattern. So after marking this, I'll go ahead to mark my dart, and to mark your dart, you need your nipple to nipple divided by 2. I'll go ahead to place my ruler, draw a straight line. Now after marking that, I'll mark out a basic neckline of 3 by 3 inches to serve as a guide. So this is not the actual measurement. Remember, we are doing this in form of an illustration. Now fold my tape and mark. After marking, I'll place my ruler, connect this all the way to the lower part. After I'm done connecting at this point, I'll go ahead to mark about 2 inches. That is where I want the shoulder bustier to start. So from that point, I'll mark a straight line to serve as a guide. So after marking this, you notice on my pattern I didn't mark an under bust, which I actually forgot to do. So I'll just go ahead to mark that. I'll draw out a straight line there. So after I'm done marking that, I'll go ahead to mark 1 inch on both sides and also on the other side of my pattern. Now after marking this, I'm going to connect from the bust to the under bust, then connect it all the way to my dart legs. For my dart, I've used 1 inch on both sides, which I'm also using at the upper part. If your bust is a bit fuller or you're busty, you can go ahead to use 1.5 inches for your dart intake. Now I'll insert the bust measurement divided by 4 and place the dart intake I took out from the chest line and add your sewing allowance. I'll go ahead to mark the under bust circumference divided by 4, measure the dart intake, replace and add my sewing allowance. I'll mark the waist circumference divided by 4, measure the dart intake, replace and add my sewing allowance. Of course, I'm not using the actual dart intake. I'm just using this pattern as an illustration, right? But if you're on the slimmer side or you're not that busty, you should use 1 inch for your dart intake. Then if you're on the plus size, a bit busty, you should use like 1.5 for your dart intake. I connected my pattern and I'll draw out the neckline for this dress, right? So after doing that, you mark the bust dart. To get your bust dart is the difference between your shoulder to waist in front and your shoulder to waist at the back. My shoulder to waist in front is 17, while the back is 15.5. So if you minus 15.5 from 17, you get 1.5. So that is how to actually get your bust dart. Now I'm just going to go ahead to cut this out. So I'll just go ahead to blend out this part that has a dart and cut out the rest of my pattern. Now after cutting this out, this is what I have. Let's cut out the back pattern. For the back pattern, I've marked out the zipper, then I marked the shoulder divided by 2, found the chest line, the bust line, and then the waistline. This is exactly what we did for the front, except that we don't have a zipper for the front. So I'll go ahead to mark my nipple to nipple divided by 2 after the zipper line, then go ahead to connect. Then after I'm done connecting, the next step I'll take is to mark ½ inch on both sides of my pattern. After marking this, you want to go ahead to place your ruler and connect your dart. Now the next step you take is to determine how the back will be. I measured about 2 inches from the chest line, just like we did for the front, and I'll draw out a line there. So at the back pattern, I'll go down a bit because I don't want the zipper to be popping up, and I'll connect it from that 2 inches to that point. Now the next step we'll take is to go ahead, get rid of the zipper bulge. I'll mark ½ inch here. Then after marking that, I'll go ahead to place my tape and my ruler, and I will connect. So this is what I have at this point. I'll insert the bust measurement divided by 4, then add my sewing allowance. Now Here, go ahead to mark your waist circumference divided by 4. Measure this dart intake you have here, replace it, and then add your sewing allowance. You can use any sewing allowance of your choice. Now, I'm just going to connect this. So we are done drafting the back pattern. I'll go ahead to cut this out. Have any questions so far? Please kindly go ahead to ask. Now, this is my pattern for the front and the back. Now, I want to explain how to achieve the sleeve area. Now, go ahead and finish making your dress. Now, you're going to cut out your strap, iron and interfacing on it, the sleeve of this dress, iron and interfacing, and turn it. Now, you attach it from the neckline, then pass it all the way around your arm, then take it all the way to the back. Now, for this other side of your dress, you're going to place it this way. It will now cut across towards the under bust area. You're going to attach it from that point, then all the way to the neckline, and it will now overlap and cover the other parts that you attached. Then you are going to do this after you're done sewing the bustier part. That is when you're going to attach this your sleeve to your dress, right? And from here now, you're going to connect this round your arm and take it and connect it to the back of your dress. So this is how to achieve the upper part. Let's move over to the lower part of this dress. So after this, for the back, you're going to, for the back, the first thing you need is your waistline, and after that you're going to measure 7 inches for your hip point, right? And you're going to go ahead to mark. After marking your waist at this point, measure your waist to knee point. Now from that waist to knee point, come up by 2.5 inches, right? So what you now do now is to go ahead to insert your measurement. Mark your waist circumference divided by 4, add your sewing allowance. Mark your hip circumference divided by 4, add your sewing allowance. Whatever you have there, just take out 1 inch from it, right? If you notice the A line, or is it the mermaid dress we have there, is not that fitted towards the lower part. Just minus 1 inch from your hip, and then you now connect it. So when you're folding, you can use your hip circumference divided by 4 and add additional 6 to 8 inches to it, so that by the time you connect, you have this full flay effect at the lower part, and you go ahead to connect. So after connecting, I'm just going to cut this out. Then after I'm done cutting out, this is what we have. Now let's go ahead to explain how to get the back. For the back, all you need to do is to add 2 inches to this pattern you have here, or 1.5 for the zipper. So I don't know if the back pattern has a tail, because I didn't get to see that. Now to create that design at the front, connect from your hip point all the way and slant it towards the lower side this way, and then create an opening through it. So I'll just go ahead and use my marker to outline this, and also outline at the other side. So after I'm done doing that, I'll go ahead to cut this out, right? You cut out this slit and then cut out this side. You go ahead to join it back as one piece.